So we're going to look at another type of multiplication of polynomials. And in both examples, we have two pairs of parentheses. Imagine we still have two boxes. But inside the first box, we have two items, two terms. In the second box, we have three items or three terms. Now, the mathematical term is a terms are separated by plus sign or minus sign. So whenever you see a plus sign, that's another term. You see a minus sign, that's another term. So that's why we say that we got two terms here. We can think of it as two items in the box, and then we got three terms here, because 1, 2, 3. And so this is the case. So previously we did one term times two terms and two terms times two terms. So we have one thing times two things, plus or minus. And we also did two things times two things, and that which we use the FOIL or distribution twice. So here we have two things in the first box, but we have three things in the second box. And FOIL will not work because FOIL only applies two items times two items. So if we have two items times three items, we're going to have to go back to the distributive property. And so the rule doesn't change. So you will distribute everything in the first box to everything in the second box. So first we're going to distribute that red X. So just ignore the positive 3 there. Just ignore that. So we distribute the first item to everybody in the second box. And so after that, we're going to distribute that positive 3, which is the blue 3 here, to everybody in the second box. So notice that we still do two distributions because there are three items in the second box. And so you will have to do multiplication 3 times here, up there, and 3 times down here. So that's a total of 6 multiplications. So as you can see, after I distribute red X, I just put red X in front of each item in the second one. See x squared, negative 4x, negative 5. Put x in front of each of them. And then you put 3 in front of each of them. See x squared, negative 4x, negative 5. And if you are able to do this step in your mind, you can. But if you always make mistakes, make sure you write this down. Now let's simplify. So x times x squared. Again, if you are able to do that when you're distributing it, so x times x squared, you could get x third immediately. And so you may be able to skip this step if you are able to do that. So we're going to use the exponent rules. One of the rules, first rule we learned, it's 1 copy times 2 copies. We have a total of 3 copies. So this will give us x third down here. Now, x times negative 4x. X times negative 4x. So we talked about this in the previous videos. So we're going to multiply the variable x and x. That gives us x squared, because 1 copy times 1 copy, 2 copies. And negative 4, we just put it in front of it. So that's how we get negative 4x squared. And x times negative 5, one of them is a letter, a variable, the other is a number. So we cannot multiply them. We just move negative 5 in front of x. So we don't have to put parentheses. Now, second row, 3x squared, again, get rid of the dot. And 3 times negative 4, that's negative 12. And bring down x. And positive 3 times negative 5 gives us negative 15. So we have to simplify each of these 6 multiplications. So after we work out all these multiplications, we look for like terms to combine. X third is the only one. We bring it down. The x squares, we got these two. They can be combined. And these two, they can be combined. So negative 4 plus 3, that gives us negative 1 x squared. So again, negative 4 plus 3, $4 debt plus $3 credit. That's a negative $1. So that's more debt than credit, $1 more. And this 1 can be omitted. So you could just put an x squared there. And negative 5x minus 12x, negative 5 minus 12, so $5 debt. And you can put a plus sign here. It's like adding two debts. So $5 debt plus $12 debt, that's $7 debt minus $17 debt. And finally, negative 15, that's the only number, so bring it down. And notice all of these are not like terms anymore. Third, squared, x, and no x. So we just have to leave the answer like that. Now the second example will be very similar. So again, we have two boxes. The first box has 2 items. The second one has 3 items. So you have to distribute each of them. So first, let's distribute the first item, 2a, to all of these. So we just copy down everything in the second box, put a 2a in front of it, and then copy down everything in the second pair of box, and then put negative 3 in front of it. So now we're gonna simplify each multiplication. So we have 6 multiplications we gotta do. First, 2a times 4a squared. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times a squared is 8 third. So we got 8 third. And next, when we multiply these two, positive 2 times negative means negative 1. So we get negative 2. 8 times a is a squared. And then we do positive 2 times negative 7. That's negative 14. And a, we just bring it down. Now, negative 3 times positive 4, that's negative 12. And a squared we bring down. And negative 3 times negative a, now negative 2 negatives make a positive. And then bring down 3 and a. Because one thing is a number, the other is a letter. Finally, negative 3 times negative 7, that's positive 21. 2 negatives make a positive. So now we got every 6 multiplications simplified. We just need to add and subtract. So finally, we do addition and subtraction. So these highlight the like terms. These two are like terms, and these two are like terms. So negative 2 minus negative 12, that's negative 14 in front of a squared. Negative 14 plus 3, it's negative 11 in front of a. And so and again, now a cubed, a squared, a, no a's, they are not like terms. So we just leave, that's the simplified answer.